Do you mind telling me some of the actresses that sometimes people confuse you with?
Well, I get Brooke Shields often. I think that's the eyebrow connection. Michelle Pfeiffer, that I always love. I get Heidi Klum, but she's a model. She's not really an actress, but I like that. And I get Christy Brinkley.
You're getting all great people.
I get very good people. I'm like, yes, life is good.
Actually, if you're Mariel Hemingway, life is pretty great. At 51, she's raised 2 successful daughters. She still looks terrific. And here at the California home she shares with her boyfriend Bobby Williams, she's found time to pick up plenty of new passions.
Oh my gosh, wow.
Climbing trees, boxing, tightrope walking.
So when do we walk on hot coals?
It's the same youthful spirit that captivated us back when she was 16, when the granddaughter of literary master Ernest Hemingway got her big break and an Oscar nomination in Woody Allen's Manhattan.
I really did want to see you a lot.
I like it when you get an uncontrollable urge.
Yeah, I know, it's my best feature. My boyish impetuosity.
How you feeling?
Ready to give it a try?
Other acting roles followed.
I knew if I didn't get outside that I'd just want to cry.
Now she has a new and more personal project, exploring her famous family's haunting history.
The Kennedy family. The Kennedys had these horrible tragedies, and we were sort of the other American family that had this horrible curse.
In a new documentary, Running from Crazy, Mariel talks about the pain of growing up a Hemingway and the string of suicides in her family.
Can you list for me the members of the family and their relation to you that have taken their lives?
So it's my grandfather, Ernest's father, committed suicide, Clarence. My grandfather committed suicide, Ernest. My great-grandfather on my grandmother's side, his last name was Richardson, he committed suicide. My great-uncle, Lester. My great-aunt, Ursula. And then there is my uncle, then there is my sister.
Mariel Hemingway grew up in the small mountain town of Ketchum, Idaho, with her older sisters Muffet and Margot, and parents Byra and Jack, the eldest son of Ernest Hemingway. Her parents' relationship was miserable.
I spent a lot of time by myself out in the mountains hiking because that was a place where I felt most sane, because my house wasn't sane. I didn't feel like I was crazy, but I felt like I lived in crazy.
My mother and father drank wine every night.
Drink the wine.
In the documentary, Mariel describes the poisonous atmosphere at home.
You know, they'd have one glass of wine and things were kind of happy, and they were actually having a regular conversation.
You want me to do that?
No, I'm fine.
But after a couple glasses of wine and the alcohol kicked in, nastiness would happen.
Big sister Margot escaped Idaho as soon as she could. At 19, thanks to her name and stunning good looks, she became the highest-paid supermodel in the world. In 1976, Margot got an even bigger break. She was cast as the lead in the movie Lipstick, and she invited Mariel, who had no acting experience,
Hey, Chrissy's here, Mr. Stewart.
to play her kid sister.
This is my music teacher, Mr. Stewart.
Hi, how are you?
Fine, thank you. You know you got these favorite men in the world, don't you?
Margot's performance was savaged. Mariel stole the show.
She felt resentment towards me for coming in and sort of taking the limelight, which I didn't intentionally do.
You're a kid. You don't know what love means. I don't know what it means.
Then Woody Allen came calling.
We have laughs together. I care about you. Your concerns are my concerns. We have great sex.
In Manhattan, your character was sophisticated beyond her years. Was that you?
She was sophisticated beyond my years. I was so unclear about what I was playing.
Her role as Woody Allen's free-spirited teenage lover was a stretch, considering Mariel had never even had a boyfriend.
Is it true that that was your first real kiss?
It was the first kind of make-out kiss that had to be recorded for all of time in all of history. I remember when it was done, I looked at Gordy Willis, who was the cameraman. I looked at him and I go, I don't have to do that again, do I? He goes, no, we got it. I was like, oh, thank God.
Well,
poor Woody, he probably would have loved another kiss.
After the film, Woody Allen came to visit Mariel and her family in Ketchum.
He did come, and my dad decided that he would take him for a hike. For some reason, my dad decided that it would be great to have him bushwhack instead of be on a trail.
To have Woody Allen bushwhacking.
Bushwhack with him, and I'm kind of running back to Woody to make sure that he's okay, until finally we get to the top of this hill, and he's just looks like he's exhausted, and it starts to snow.
Wait, this is like a scene, forgive me, from a Woody Allen movie.
It certainly is. I'm surprised it was never in a Woody Allen film. It was extraordinary.
It was a rare break from a bleak home life. Margot's own unhappiness was documented on film back in the 80s.
This is my grandfather's house. He spent a lot of time there writing, and of course, that's where he took his life. I've always felt that if somebody can't go on living and creating the way they can, I mean, the way they're used to, and in a healthy form, in which Grandpapa was accustomed to, I mean, I accept the fact that he killed himself.
And in 1996, Margot took her own life. Oldest sister Muffet suffered a series of psychotic breaks and remains under psychiatric care.
Do you still worry that this thing in the family, suicidal depression, could come and get you, like a sword of Damocles hanging over you?
You know what? I can honestly tell you, for the first time in my life in the last, like 4 years, I do not think some secret dark night's gonna come and like pounce on me, which I used to for many, many years. I thought, it's my turn.
And then she stays here and I bounce her up. Ready?
Now she says she's found what's going to give her lasting happiness.
There you go.
How much of your happiness is due to him?
I would say pretty much all of it now. He's the guy that taught me how to laugh.
And he did it on the picture.
Almost 40 years after we discovered Mariel Hemingway, she says she's finally found herself.
There's that quote, it's never too late to have a happy childhood. It's really true. If you want to, you can recreate a life that is right for you, and that's what I've done.
You can tell